questions for you. So first, um, with a particular deal, I'm looking at a situation where I am interested in purchasing a particular business. At what point, putting courtesy aside, do you inform the fellow broker that you are a licensed broker? Is that a requirement by law that you must do that?
Well, it depends on the state that you're in. If you are, it is, I mean, I know in California, yeah, we're required to disclose everything at the earliest opportunity. So I disclose everything right up front.
Hmm.
First communication with somebody, I disclose.
Got it.
Um, but I would say that, the other part of that is, are you looking to be a buyer? Are you looking to collect part of a fee or get some type of referral fee or whatever? And if you are, you need to make that very clear again at the earliest possible um, opportunity, because otherwise the other broker just feels like they're being sleazy, right? If you request information, they think you're a regular buyer and all that. You start asking them questions, and then a month into it or several weeks later, you say, "Oh, and by the way, I'm a broker, and I want a referral fee, or I want to represent myself or my buyer group in this deal, and I want you to pay me a fee." That doesn't go over well with any brokers, with
Hmm.
any business brokers. So
Got it.
yeah.
The second question is, at at what point do you, so at first they list information such as the P&L, which is a very high level P&L.
Mhm.
So I was looking for more information. So we're fresh into it, right? So with that said, if you don't get that information, how is it best to flush that out? I was thinking, do you just issue a non-binding LOI and just say, once I get certain information, then we can move forward with solidifying a price and due diligence, et cetera, et cetera. How would you go about that if you're just not getting information in a prompt manner?
Well, I think that typically what happens, even though LOIs are non-binding, people
Mhm.
don't like retrading on price. So if you submit an LOI that says you're going to give them, $650,000, and then you get the P&Ls and the tax returns and everything else, and you determine that the business really only worth 350, and you go back and you say, okay, we're ready to do the definitive purchase agreement, but we want to retrade the price to 350. That's going to create all kinds of animosity, and you're probably never going to get the deal done. So typically what I try to do is talk to the other broker and say, hey, look, I would love to submit an LOI, but at this point, I don't have enough information to determine a valid offer price. And I don't want to end up retrading. I don't want to create animosity with your seller for you down the road. So I need the last 3 years of P&Ls, balance sheets, interim P&Ls, balance sheets, last 3 years of tax returns, same stuff that we use to do the recast. Now, a lot of brokers will not give you the tax returns or access to the tax returns until after you've submitted an LOI. I think that's kind of foolish, but what I try to do in that case is just say, can you confirm to me, or just give me, the top line revenue and the taxable income off of the tax returns. Don't give me the tax returns, but give me the top line revenue, the top line revenue, the cost of goods. So you have the gross profit and the taxable income, because you want to compare those to the P&Ls and see if they have any resemblance to each other. Otherwise, you may find yourself in a situation where the P&L says there's $1 million of revenue, but then when you finally do submit the LOI and everything else, and then you get the copy of the tax returns show only 650 of revenue was declared, and then you have no way of financing that business or anything else. So, and in terms of valuation, you really need to tie back to the tax returns, not just the P&Ls, because anybody can put anything into QuickBooks and make a P&L.
Exactly.
Or just make one in Excel, you know?
Right.
So
Question.
does that make sense? Mm-hmm.
It does. Thank you. And I might give you a call thereafter, but this helps me out.
Sure.
Thank you.